Hey everyone, Nick from Mossy Creek with this week's fly fishing forecast. Today is Monday, March 24th. We're going to jump into the fishing here in a second, but before we do that, I just want to remind you, not this Saturday, but the following April 5th, we're going to have our annual open house. If you're not familiar, we have an awesome time here at the shop. We're going to have a lot of industry reps here. We're going to be making hundreds of pounds of barbecue. We're going to have all kinds of fun stuff for the day. So come stop by. We'll have some presentations, some great deals, good chance to look at new product with reps and try stuff on and cast rods and lines and all that. It's an awesome time. We have a lot of fun seeing everyone and just taking a day to kind of thank you guys for the awesome customers that you are. So keep an eye on the emails. We'll have more details coming with that, but we're only 2 weeks out, so just want to make sure you're aware of it. So we'll see you then. But in the meantime, the valley is prime right now. You've got options for pretty much anything you want to do. We got great water. The weather looks great for this next week. Looks like the beginning of this week is going to be a little bit on the cooler side with some cooler nights and mid 50s through most of the day, but later in the week we're like back into the 70s. So we're going to have some good water warm up. We're going to continue to have some good hatches that take us into the spring. Like I said, you pretty much have, a pick of wherever you want to go this time of year. So if you're anything like me, I love brook trout fishing. This is the time I spend, a lot of my free days doing that because we have the water and we have the bugs and we have the weather. Later on in the summer, if we get dry like we have been in years past, that can get a little bit more limited. So I like to take advantage of it while I can. That being said, I was out there this weekend on some of our mountain streams. Water looks awesome. There's a lot of bugs hatching. I was seeing a lot of quills, smaller bugs, big bugs, stuff coming off midday, a lot of pretty thick hatches and fish coming up and eating off the surface. So if you head up into the mountains, take your 5X tippet, your dry assortments, Quill Gordons, Hendricksons, Parachute Adams, some of those other attractors will work well too. Most of the bugs you'll see will be in kind of that size 12 to 16 range. So have a variety of those different sizes. Honestly, this time of year, I think that size is more important than anything, having some variation in what you have. If you don't have the perfect Hendrickson or Quill Gordon pattern or whatever it is, if you have some different sizes and colors to kind of swap through, chances are you're going to be able to figure out what they're eating. So load up on that, take a look at your box, see maybe what areas you're missing, fill that out, and having that variety is going to go a long way for you. As always, be observant while you're up there. Look at what's flying around, pick up rocks, grab bugs when you can, look at those sizes, look at those colors, even if you don't know the scientific name to them. If you can match those things, it helps a lot with the success. So great time to be fishing some dry flies. A little bit earlier in the season, our hatches aren't quite as thick and fish aren't quite as surface oriented as they're going to be here in the next month or two as we have more stuff popping off and more consistent warm temperatures. So it's also a great time of year to fish a dry dropper. You can fish a big attractor that floats a little bit better like a Mr. Rapidan or a Humpy and still have some luck on the dry. But having that nymph 2.5, 3 feet below your dry fly in some of those deeper runs, you're going to pick up some of those fish that aren't maybe as willing to come to the surface. So pick that stuff up. Like I said, look at what you have before you go out there. Make sure you're covered because the fishing's awesome and it's a great time to take advantage of that. Whether it's the park, our streams to our west, whatever it is, just about everything's in good shape. So if you're interested in trying something new you've never fished, give us a call. We're always happy to help with access and kind of spread people out a little bit. The spring creeks are fishing great too. We've been fishing Mossy Creek, Beaver Creek. The state's been out stocking. So even a lot of our delayed harvest and put and take waters have been stocked quite regularly over the last couple weeks. On Mossy, like down here in the valley, we've been seeing a lot of caddis hatching, tan elk hair caddis or parachute caddis in size 14, 16 is a great pattern to have right now. Blueing olives and parachute Adams and some of those, even fish that are keyed in on something more specific, a well-placed, Adams is hard to pass up. So, have those as well. Streamer fishing's been really good on those days where it's a little bit more overcast and rainy. So fishing Crelexes if you need something really bright, especially with freshly stocked fish. crystal buggers, sculpin patterns, that type of stuff. So it's really a fun time of year because you can kind of fish whatever you like to fish. So get out there, enjoy that time. The bigger, warmer water rivers are fishing really well too. We've had some great bass fishing over the last couple weeks. That's getting better and better as we move into the spring. Some of those fish are going to start to kind of come out of their general winter haunts and spread out a little bit more, be putting the feed bag on coming up into the spawn here. So it's a great time to fish some bigger streamers, working those ledges and those places close to the winter holes because they're still kind of spreading out. The musky fishing's been pretty good, but we're getting about to that time of year where those fish are probably thinking about spawning. So, keep that in mind. For the most part, we're going to be laying off of them here soon and focusing on the bass fishing as we move into the spring and later into the summer. So, like I said, a lot of good options. Check the DWR website. If you Google trout stocking, there's a page that will show you every day. The day after they stock, they'll post it, but you can look through by county, you can look through by stream designation, and find just about anything you want to fish. So if you're not familiar with that, that might open you up to some new places that you haven't fished. Like I said, it's all good. If you're having a hard time deciding, give us a call, but we're happy to help. Especially what I was mentioning earlier with filling out your boxes and making sure you have good variation in what you have. Don't be afraid to bring your box in. A lot of times people come in, open it up on the counter and say, hey, what do you see here that I'm missing and I can fill in? We're always happy to help with that. So enjoy the good weather. It looks like some of that high wind that we've had the last week or two is going to be a little bit more subdued this week. So should make for some even better fishing. We hope to see you guys at the open house here in a couple weeks. If you need help with gear, come on in. We've got all of our big preseasons showing up daily, so we're really well stocked in waders, boots, rods, flies, everything that you need to get out there. As always, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Let us know how we can help. We just want you to have a good time out on the water, take advantage of this awesome weather, and we'll go from there. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.